Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man. Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movie.
Hey, Candy Killers. We are here with a very, very interesting episode of Monster Candy Podcast. Our host, Dominic Davi, or co-host, I guess, has decided to take a little bit of a break for some love. He's currently in Colorado in some hot springs in a hot tub with his girlfriend and another couple. We don't really know all the specifics, but we've seen pictures. So we've decided to bring in a very special guest host. If you're a fan of Tsunami Bomb or a friend of mine or anyone in the band, you have heard of Mr. Charlie Price. Or if you were a fan of Next to Nothing back in the day, or what's the name of your band, Charlie, now? No, I really just blanked on it. Hold on, give me a minute.
Come on, you can.
I don't think I can.
Starts with a stead, ends with a.
Oh, Steadfast. And I played keyboard on some of the songs on the last album. Charlie Price is the drummer. He's really awesome. He's also one of my best friends in the entire world. So we decided to bring him on. Yeah, and he's Charlie Bear. So the whole name of the game was, I told E, I'll pick somebody, and it will be a secret to you, and you get to pick the movie. And E picked a motherfucking doozy, and immediately I was like, I can't tell Charlie to watch this.
Look, I've been trying to do this movie. Welcome, Candy Killers. This is Monster Candy Podcast.
Yeah.
So the movie we're doing tonight is Salo, 120 Days of Sodom.
Which, if you saw the Kate Winslet movie Quills, or happen to be into alternative literature and know about Marquis de Sade, while he was in prison, he started writing this story, the most filthy one yet. And if you've read any of his stuff, the most filthy one yet is like quite the masterpiece. Ha ha ha. And ha ha ha. And he thought it was gone because he started some shit. He got taken out of the prison and banished, but he stuck like what he had written of 120 Days of Sodom in the stone walls. And then all of a sudden the war broke out. But someone found it, and years later it came out, and they filled in a whole bunch of garbage, but they kind of got the gist of it. And let me tell you, I went through a phase in my teenage years where I bought his complete works, and after seeing Quills, and it's entertaining.
There's some shit. So yes, Dominic is on a little love excursion, and I saw my opportunity to do this movie because I've been trying to do it.
Dom can't see this movie.
And I even gave him my copy. My friend
no, he can't, dude. He can't because we will only hear about it for the next 3 years. It'll be like, hey guys, remember that time that 13-year-old girl was eating shit? And we'll be like, Dom, dude, old news, bro. Old news.
So anyway, that's what we're doing tonight. But first, horror news. Yes, horror news, which I don't have any specific ones, just a general, which could also fall into the category of what chaps screaming his ass. But
going into a subcategory.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of both because there is news. But do you have any horror news?
I have happy news, even though I feel like a lot of people probably knew about it. But Cassandra Peterson, also known as Elvira, has officially come out as bisexual.
Yeah. I mean,
I know, but it's funny that like I know, but it's funny that like part of her reasoning of not coming out is that she thought she would like lose male attention. And I'm like, are you kidding? Guys have wanted to see girls on girls and think of that like since forever. Like I understand men not wanting to come out
Yeah,
because that's a little different. I mean, not for me. I think a guy's super hot. I'm just gonna tell you
nuts
that
to
right
butts,
now.
baby.
Depending on the dude, really. But I mean, yeah, for a girl to be like, but I think it was because it was her personal trainer when she was married. So maybe, you know, the logistics and didn't want bad stuff to
That's
come
a
out.
nice way of saying infidelity. The logistics of it wasn't really going to work out at the time.
Well, she said it was after the divorce when they finally hooked up. And honestly, I don't really care if it was or not. But the fact that she's been like pounding boobs with her personal trainer is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw it and I was just like,
By the way,
huh,
Charlie has the best laugh ever.
Pounding boobs.
Pounding boobs. When your boobs are that big, it's hard to pound anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and she's also what? There's going to be a new,
Yeah,
a
on
new-
Shutter.
yeah, Shutter's doing the thing with her, which is awesome.
And she's about to turn 71. And I have to say, I just saw a picture of her yesterday. She
looks
looks
great.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah,
I mean-
I would pound boobs with her.
We saw her not pounding boobs, unfortunately, but I don't know, 3 years ago, last time me, Shotzi, and Dom went to Monsterpalooza, and she was there, and I mean, I was like, God damn.
It's a shame she wasn't pounding boobs at the time.
She was not. She was presenting them, but she was not pounding them, unfortunately, for everybody there. But yeah, I mean, good for her. Whatever, live her truth, or whatever the fuck kids say nowadays. Whatever.
Yeah, live your life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Free yourself from those chains.
And the rest will follow. Was
Yeah.
that the In Vogue song?
Love yourself. And the rest will follow. Yep.
Yeah. What's up? Shout
Yeah,
out to In Vogue.
my mom listens to that too. Mhm. Charlie has horror news.
Do
All
have
right.
horror news.
CB
does.
coming prepared.
One of my best friends, my buddy Scott Barber, does a lot of documentaries, and he has a documentary on Guar being premiered at Fantastic Fest in Austin this Friday. So I think it's going to be on Shudder after that, I believe. But he's got the approval from Guar and spent the past couple of years interviewing all the members past and helped kind of get them back together with the original lineup. And it's going to be sick for fans of Guar and non-fans of Guar. That's his whole plan, is to give a doc that kind of introduced Guar to people who aren't big Guar fans. So
That's what's up.
yeah. So this Friday
That's what's up
in
right?
Austin. Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't have anything else. Every time I started to read good horror news, there was some like
You're like-
alternative social justice warrior spin to it, and I just got tired and I stopped reading.
Yeah, it happens lately a lot.
I know, but it's just weird. Like, I mean, open arms to everybody, I guess. But
everyone seems to need to make a point.
horror is supposed to be horror. It's supposed to be a nightmare. It's supposed to be something you don't want to live. So I don't understand how horror and political correctness should go hand in hand.
I don't know.
Other than in movies like The Hunt, where it's just making a remark on it.
Right. Yeah.
But I've
don't
seen just
even
way
get
too
me
many people
started.
being like, I just can't watch this. It's triggering. And I'm like, yeah, it's a movie about rape.
This movie that we watched is not triggering at all, though. Everybody should watch that.
Everybody.
Yeah,
should watch
speaking-
this movie.
yeah.
Family
Yeah,
movie
this-
night.
Yeah.
Yes,
This should be on so many podcasts about sexual abuse.
this really should. And by the time this airs, Creep Show, the third season will already be going on, so that's cool. Give it up to Shudder again.
I've been like on and off with that. Like I love the Pittsburgh one
Right.
and a couple episodes, but then so many were like my go to sleep TV shows. I never
It's-
finished them because I just felt
it's
like
a-
I didn't
It's a
need to.
50-50 for sure,
Yeah.
you know? But which is like, okay, I'm still happy it exists. And the good ones are
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
I liked Into the Dark better. Did you watch any of those?
Yes. Yes,
They were more messed up.
they were. This is true.
Creepshow went more towards Twilight Zone this time around, I feel like. Ish. Like more like twisty and not as
Yeah,
pew, 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 pew.
I can agree. I can agree with that.
But I don't hate it. Like it's
Right.
I mean I watch it, but there are definitely some that I didn't finish.
Yes, just like that. What was that thing you told me to watch? The 13
Hmm?
The short stories?
Imprint.
No. God damn.
Oh, the female director one on Shudder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that was like 30 minutes long and it was like 20 movies.
Yeah.
You fell asleep for that.
Most of them. I think
That one I made it through because they were all like 2 minutes long.
the first one was good. The first one about the
I think it was the first one and the sixth one I liked, and the rest I was like, what the fuck? Is it just a bunch of mad lesbians? Like,
yeah. That's- yeah.
which
Yeah.
I love angry lesbians. I go to breweries with them all the time and we eat wings and we go on hikes and things, but I don't know if they should make horror movies.
In the immortal words of BA from Sloppy Seconds, I love lesbians more than anyone, but why don't lesbians love me? So,
I mean, they love me. I just
yeah,
don't know if they should make horror movies. I mean, some lesbians should make horror movies, but angry lesbians, I feel like, should not.
but yeah, the first one was good, and there was like one or two others like, all right, that's cool. But the first one was the only real one that was like a ghost story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a traditional one, which
What
I
was-
thought was cool.
There was one about tampons, right?
Yeah.
There was definitely one that was about tampons.
Because about your
That was
about
like-
the menstrual cycle. For
Okay.
sure. It was like
Yeah.
every morning. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
Which, like, I felt like that should be in black and white and shown to children on VHS in like middle school, and it would have been highly effective. But in this sort of thing where like most, I would hope men who are watching it have had some sort of experience with a period, and most women who are watching it had as well. It's like, yeah, we know.
yeah.
It's what it is. Sorry. Gotta love them. Charlie, how do you feel about angry lesbians?
No comment.
Okay.
All right. So for my
What chops your hide?
Oh
yeah, that's where we started.
yeah. Then we got off on what was it? Knocking boobs or
Knocking boobs, dude. Like, why is this a weird term? You knock boobs. It's just like knocking boots, but like women
titties.
with bigger titties. Yeah, they knock titties. Like
So-
going to the titter or lay titter.
The titter.
That's the thing.
They titter.
Mhm. That's a strip club in Montreal, by the way.
Well,
sounds French.
when
Do
we
they all
tried to
laugh
find.
when they
Well, it doesn't really exist, but we
We
went
tried
around
to.
Montreal screaming, "Where's the titter?" to all the Montrealians, and
They were
just looked
not
like
amused.
they were no. It was like a quintessential dumb American thing, but
I think it's hilarious.
yeah, you would have actually had fun with us that night. It was definitely a scream and eat kind of night. I feel
Right.
like.
And then I would have just been up there going, ho, to everyone. Like, this fucking American, get him out of here. Like,
No, I actually, yeah, I threw a beer on a girl who ended up later falling off a castle and dying. True story.
Just because of
I
that
mean,
look.
way afterwards. No, she was in Ireland and went to take a picture and decided to stand on a tower on a castle and fell backwards.
She actually decided to stand on air. She didn't stand on a cloud.
Oh shit. Well,
But anyways, while we
that's
were
a-
fighting or talking about it, and she was like, "I love your band," blah blah. I was like, "I don't understand you." I didn't know how to
and that's
react.
why we love Oobzilla. But yeah,
All
so
right, what the fuck chaps your hide?
what's chapping my ass is these fucking remakes that they're coming out with. So and we talked about them on a few other episodes, but so you got the Lost Boys, where apparently they're using some cast from it, and it's just like, come on, what are you doing? So there's that. There's fucking Salem's Lot. James Wan is gonna do that. So there's probably gonna be some like kung fu vampires in it or some shit going on. Just judging by his, the last movie.
I actually
fucking
didn't
loved it.
like the original Salem's Lot.
I
We'll get to that later, I guess.
I didn't either when I first watched it. Well, I mean, I liked it, but it was a mini series, so it's just fucking super long and not really.
I haven't seen it
scary.
since I was a teenager, though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I like it now.
Shudder had it on a couple years ago, a year or two ago, and I actually rewatched it, and I was like, you know what? This isn't. I appreciate it more just for aesthetics and stuff, and the story is cool, but I definitely appreciate it more now than I did when I was younger. Because I was like, oh, this thing's fucking long, and it's again a fucking mini series from what was it? The late 70s, early 80s, late 70s.
I think so. Yeah, around Cujo time.
Yeah, so I'm like, ugh. But anyway, why do they not remake bad movies better? They take good ones and they're like, hey, let's fuck this up, and it's getting super annoying. So
there are some remakes that are better than the original.
there are, but there haven't been any recently. And the ones they're remaking now, it just seems like, I mean, I've talked about this to death on here, but it's on name recognition only. So like, hey, there's this thing that's totally popular, and now I'm just gonna fucking, and it's always like a reimagining or I'm gonna put a different take. I don't want a different take on an awesome movie. So fucking stop it, Hollywood. Remake a shitty movie that has like a good premise but is just fucking terrible. That would make so much more
like
sense.
Dreamscape.
Right?
It could have been good, but it wasn't.
Yeah, there's Cobra Guy. He was cool.
Even like, I love Kroll. Like, I fucking love Kroll, but I wouldn't be mad if they remade it and it was super awesome. Because I like Kroll because it's bad.
I mean, there's so many movies they could do that with. They could be like, oh, this thing could have worked.
Sorority Girls and Slime Bowl-orama?
Right? Come on.
No, they could never do that. It'd be so bad. It was only
Vampire
good because it
Vixens
was
from
bad.
Venus? They need to fucking remake that with a lot of boob knocking. You know what I'm saying?
I need to copyright that right now.
You should. Put a stamp on it. Timestamp.
Mm-hmm. Emotional scissoring.
We've got that website. We've got Emotional Scissor.
Yeah, that's true. We do.
I mean,
now we need to buy boob knocking.
Boob
We are gonna be so rich. We're gonna retire off these sites. It's gonna be great.
I'm into it.
So, all right.
Okay. So that's
Boop, boop, boop.
yeah. Bloop bloop bloop. Wasn't too horror news.
Charlie's-
So let's get in to this masterpiece.
You know whose favorite movie it is?
Whose?
David Cross.
Really?
Yeah, it actually surprised me because he's a fan of fucked up movies that I'm a fan of. And I love Mr. Show. I love some David Cross, but he was one of the people who actually like spoke out and fought to get this put in curriculum.
I'm into it. So we should start off by anyone who hasn't seen this movie.
Don't fucking watch it. Don't fucking watch it. Don't watch it. Don't ever watch it. Hey guys, don't watch it. Just don't watch it because it's gonna ruin your life. It's gonna make you think like, oh, that's not a big deal. I've seen crazy shit, and then 3 days later, you're throwing up blood and crying, and you're on your floor shaking.
I disagree. I think everyone should watch this. So it's a
which is what Alec Baldwin said. Alec Baldwin, when he fought for it, said every single person should watch this because it shows the darkness in humanity.
It does. So Pier Paolo
and you know he's
Pasolini,
fucking kid.
Italian. Oh, Italian. Hey,
hey, bada bing, bada boom.
You know,
I like spaghetti and meatballs. I talk with my hands.
Oh.
Hey, oh.
Italians.
Right. We know all about Italians.
Right.
Oh my God.
I think it was shot in 75, released in 76, right?
And he got killed 3 weeks before the release.
He did.
He got in an argument with a kid. The kid killed him. Kid took his
over.
car.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on in this movie. But so here's the storyline. In Nazi fascist northern Italy in 1943-44, 4 senior members of government, aided by henchmen and Nazi soldiers, kidnap a group of young men and women. They hold them for 120 days, subjecting them to all manner of torture, perversion, and degradation. I mean, from the description, it doesn't sound that. It's like, okay, I like where this movie's going.
Okay, well, they don't say 4 of the children are the 4 main characters' daughters.
Right.
So that changes it. But I just want to do a little preface here. When I was a teenager, so I heard about it from some AV kids in high school, so I watched it. And I was big into horror, and I watched it. It was just like, fuck. But it messed with me a little bit because they told me that some of the children actors didn't know what they were getting into, and a few of them were actually kind of sold off by their parents into that. And it's bullshit. So this is the whole thing is so if you do watch it, I'm telling you not to watch it. But if you do watch it, one of the greatest things is they interviewed all these kids, and I actually watched an interview recently by one who's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't let them know the story at all.
Nope.
And they filmed everything out of sequence. And then they would play games in between and pranks on each other and have all this fun. And they totally didn't understand it. I mean, even though they were naked in parts and there was touching and stuff, it's funny because the movie's about Stockholm syndrome almost. They almost did that to the kids in the filming by not letting them know. And even the cameramen, people in the film, they would switch them out in between scenes so no one actually knew the linear story of what was going on. They would see pieces, but they would flash in happy stuff and other things to where they didn't really get that this was a really, really fucked up movie, which I don't know how, since the kids were naked the whole movie, but whatever.
So
I think maybe they just paid them so much money that now they're doing these interviews. But
I have the Criterion collection, DVD, and it has all these extras of Pasolini and fucking all these interviews, and it has one or two 30-minute documentaries on it. So yeah, he didn't tell anyone anything, no script. He was until they shot the scene. He was like, all right, this is what you're gonna do, whatever, and just go with it. And they had a lot of video of them in between scenes, and they're all giggling and laughing because it's a fun time. No, it was a fun time.
No, it's not. It's not a fun time.
Well, the thing is, what it gets lost in translation a little bit, because Pasolini was he was fucking crazy. He was awesome, but obviously.
Have you watched Arabian Nights by him?
No. I mean, I can only imagine though.
Yeah, and Canterbury Tales.
Right.
You should watch those. He makes them 100% about sex, but they're super entertaining. But they were in the first trilogy he did, and Salo was supposed to be the first part of the second trilogy.
Right.
But the first part, it's not as sucky. It's actually cool or funny.
So he was a gay guy,
Mhm.
but never embraced, like he never embraced like, oh yeah, gay, you know, sexuality like wasn't really a thing for him, but it was until later in life. And then he kind of like, yeah, fucking gay rights, and he was all for it and all that. But for most of the time, he's whatever, that's not important. They described him as like this, you know, uber leftist guy, but from listening to the shit he was saying and just watching this movie, especially, he obviously hated authority. He was like not into it at all. But the kids, like when they were filming, when they weren't filming, they were like joking and stuff like that. And it's all fucking, it's crazy because they think on set from what some of the actors were saying, which didn't translate to into the movie, because the movie's, it's goofy, but it's serious. You know what I mean? If someone's watching, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? But to them, it was like a campy fucking parody movie. But again, Italians.
No, he was interviewed before being like, who's this movie for? And his quote was, it's for everyone, people like me. It's a note on capitalism and what can go wrong with fascism and this and that. And like, you know, whatever. He really thought this was like this artistic.
Well, he did, yeah, he thought that too. But he was,
I mean, it is. This is a fucking artsy fartsy art house flick. This is the kind of shit that when I was a teenager, my mom would take me to, and I'd be so uncomfortable sitting next to her because I'm like, ugh. Like one time she took me to the independent film because I wanted to see like theater because I wanted to see Cabin Boy, and there was a double feature, and I shit you not, in Sonoma, the double feature was like Water for Chocolate and Cabin Boy. So I had to watch like Water for Chocolate, 13 years old with my mom, a whole bunch of banging and crying and cooking with blood, followed by Cabin Boy. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's
awesome.
the kind of shit they would do with this movie. Yeah, now it would be awesome. Right now, if I watched that with my mom, I'd be like, fuck yeah. 13, going through puberty and like weird Mexican, like Hispanic movie about like 3 sisters banging all these dudes and putting blood in their cooking to bang more. I don't know. Yeah. It was weird. And then fucking Cabin Boy. It was, and then the whole time my mom talking shit about Cabin Boy, and I'm just looking at her like, you just made me watch like Water for Chocolate, and I'm a teeny, like 13. But yeah, I could see like some fucking Italian guys, bada bing, bada boom, taking their kid to go see a Salo. And they're like, we're going to watch this and then Godfather afterwards. It's going to be great, you know? And they're like rubbing their daughter's knee the whole time. It's just, you know, God. Super art house.
So he, Pasolini, on the documentary was saying about how it's basically about how absolute power and the anarchy of power makes history as seen through whichever lens, be it Eurocentric culture, Western rationalism, Marxism, whatever, almost non-existent because it becomes arbitrary to whoever's telling you. You know what I mean? So it's just about fucking power. And I mean, we talked about it before. We were texting about it that I was like, dude, this is totally fucking Epstein Island. Like this shit's been going on for real forever. It's
did you not know Marquis de Sade was one of Epstein's favorite authors?
Well, obviously.
I mean, no, I don't think obviously. I mean, most of his stuff actually was about libertines and like a lot of elderly fucking and like sewing up vaginas and like weird shit. Like 120 Days of Sodom was the only one that really,
we don't know
exactly, I think,
what Epstein was into.
Saw that.
Because he apparently wasn't.
I'm just saying that they said in his apartment in New York or whatever, he had 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah, well, you know, everyone can't be all bad, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
But I don't know if he actually did all this kind of shit. I don't even know if he's capable.
Yeah, but you know, so it's just fucking weird. But in this documentary that they had, this is probably make I might save this for. Well, I want people to
Oh
watch
no,
this
you
movie.
don't even want to say that.
I want people to watch this movie, but after they hear this, they may not.
Don't.
But I don't know exactly how true it is or how accurate. Again, it's the 70s in Italian. Oh, but
Not a big Mario.
hey, so the
Giuseppe, get over here. I'm hungry.
it?
Give me that meatball.
Helene Sergera, the fucking old blonde lady that comes down the stairs
Yeah.
and is like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she was saying that all the kids there were between 14 and 18 years old.
No, 2 of them were 13.
Oh, well, okay, 13 and 18. But I was like,
Yeah.
huh. So yeah.
Oh no, yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, there you can totally film naked children back then.
Mhm.
That's not a big deal. Yeah, no, these are kids.
Yeah.
What, you thought they were adults when you watched it?
No. I knew they were
I mean,
teenagers, but I
There's
didn't.
a there's a lot of hair because they're Italian, but that's it.
I didn't know exactly how young
They hit
were.
puberty at 7 years old. Yeah,
And they start making
Like
pizza
old-
at
old
8.
bro.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. But no, when you're
if
watching
you're
this
Italian,
movie,
do not listen to
you
this
are
episode.
you are watching naked children.
Yeah,
But here, you want to hear my favorite part about it?
yeah.
Woo! That I found out today. I'm doing the dance. So, people who haven't seen it, spoiler, but we always spoil things. People who have, you know the part I'm talking about. So, there is shit eating in this movie.
Oh, lots of it.
And
Yeah.
and I am so fucking happy that I found out what they put in
Oh,
the
yeah.
fake shit to make people grossed out, because it is 2 flavor combinations that people try to sell you all the time. I don't know if you've ever been anywhere or had a Christmas gift or some kind of gift that has that fucking stupid chocolate orange
Mm-hmm.
that tastes like chocolate and orange. Chocolate and orange don't go together. They don't fucking go together. They never go together.
I love that shit.
Anyone who thinks they go together, is a fucking
Weirdo.
okay. Then you're a sadist. Yeah. Then you eat shit. So this is the best
I mean,
thing.
You
They
all know I am a Gigi Allen fan, so it's not
That's
too
true.
far from the
Okay.
truth.
So yeah, the worst thing ever is taking a sip of orange juice and a bite of chocolate cake. It's like death. But anyways,
You don't eat chocolate covered donuts and orange juice?
oh my god, you're so fucking gross. When I was
So
looking at
good.
different facts of the movie, I wanted to know what the shit was, because everyone, they were really naked. Some of it looks like real sex. So I was like, what's the shit? So the excrement and the corophagia scenes, which I guess is shit eating scenes, was a mixture of chocolate, orange marmalade,
Oh.
because those are the 2 most clashing flavors and ingredients the director could think of. The disgusted reactions were real, because who would want to eat that, right?
I would.
Am I right?
Chocolate
Yeah.
orange is
So
fucking
right.
delicious.
No, that's so fucking
Okay.
gross.
So if you do watch the movie, when the poor blonde girl, the first shit eating scene happens, just
Uh-huh.
picture Edie like gobbling up chocolate and orange marmalade, being like, yeah, this
Well-
is delicious. And maybe it won't be as traumatizing.
Oh no, it's still gonna traumatize you.
Well, it's
Yeah.
she
So what
actually
happened
did.
to you the next day, Charlie?
She
Dude, that
actually did throw up
Fucked me
though.
up.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
that was
So-
real vomit.
So listen, no, it was. So
Mhm.
anyways, I was so sad that Charlie had to watch this movie, and I was actually going to a brewery's anniversary in Brooklyn the night he was watching it, and I'm like sitting in a bar texting him like, I'm so fucking sorry, like don't watch this, I'm so fucking sorry. And he's like, dude, I've seen so much shit, no big deal, don't feel bad. Charlie, take it away.
I get about 10 minutes in and I'm like, okay, well, this is fucked. And I text Courtney and she's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I just started it. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You don't have to stop at any time. You can just turn it off. I'm like, no, I can power through. This will be fine. This will be fine. We're like, okay, cool. Cruising along. I'm like, oh, this is real fucked. They're like diddling kids and fucking. Then all of a sudden it goes to the like.
Well, then I'm like, what part are you at now? And I think he was like, the girl's about to eat shit, and I'm like, oh, it just started.
It was just before that part too.
Oh, yeah.
But it did the little like the chapter screen, and I knew the word merda meant shit, and I'm like, God no, please God no, not this is like the one shit is the one thing on earth that will just make me puke, like talking about it. Like,
Oh man.
so then here I am like, well, here goes. This is not gonna be
Mhm.
good. And then it's like half an hour of just shit everywhere. Lots of it. Eating.
Lots of shit eating.
There's a lot of shit in that movie. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's fucking I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I know what they're doing. I'm just gonna listen to the dialogue and not watch the screen for a few minutes till that part of it was over. Once that happened and we moved on to the torture shit, I'm like, I can watch that. I just don't watch people fucking eating shit. It's fucking disgusting.
Dude, lots of shit eating and lots of butt stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of butt stuff. That starts pretty early on. Too.
Right? They're like, all right,
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. But stuff they don't hold back. It's like immediate. Yeah. The shit thing is a thing with me too.
The whole beginning of the movie, though, they're like, oh, hey, you're the president, you're the governor. We're gonna all swap daughters so we can all fuck each other's daughters. I'm just like, that's within like the first 5 minutes. I'm like, this is going south real fucking fast.
You're like, this is exactly what the fucking lizard people do. This is what they do.
No, it is.
I know.
This is what the Democrats do, guys. I mean, the rich people, celebrity, the AOC. Eat the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Oh my God, what am I saying?
Oh, the fucking lizard people.
Yeah, I was, man,
Mhm.
5 minutes in this movie, I'm like, yep, this is a fucking, this isn't make believe. This is a fucking documentary.
Yeah,
On,
the Rothschilds.
yeah, on the fucking lizard people that run this world, and they're
Mhm.
doing a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, but then again, God, it looked like it was like having that much power to do as much fucked up shit as you want has got to be so intoxicating.
No,
I could think of much other
way
things
better
I'd rather
thing.
do with power like that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, when you get to that level, everything else
No way.
is fucking boring. You're like,
you
oh
don't
my
get off
God.
to anything else. You've done everything.
really,
Everything.
really.
Yeah,
If I
oh
was
yeah.
that rich, I would buy enough Jello to fill an entire diamond mine, and I would go get a bunch of TikTok stars and be like, whatever you can grab, you can keep, and they would all fucking drown and die because Jello, once you go down, it'd be like,
That's not any different than this movie. You'd fit perfectly in. See what I'm saying? You had that much
No.
power. You're like,
No,
how
no,
can I
no,
kill
no.
TikTok stars?
you didn't let me finish because there would be like helicopters with straps and hooks that we would like lower the hooks down. If they were smart enough to grab the hooks, we would pull them out, but then we would tell them, if you ever get back on TikTok again,
So you're
But
going fishing.
we're not going to save you.
Stars?
Yeah.
But the dumb ones just die.
Or like running Man.
Darwinism.
Running Man.
Again, to my point, when you have that much power, God, you gotta just be
Yeah.
like, fuck.
But I would participate with them and see who got out first.
Yeah, but you'd have a bat. You'd be like, all right, I have like a fucking respirator on. You have
I
something.
mean, no. Beforehand, I would spend a year training with all the best people,
See,
yeah,
yeah.
in like everything. Maybe
You'd hedge your
5
bets.
years train with, yeah, of course. I would
All
have
I'm
an upper
saying-
hand, but I wouldn't be a pussy. I would fucking get in the fucking trenches and it would be a real competition. I mean, if one of these fucking dudes was like naked, scrolling around, eating shit, they would actually probably like that. They're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
All I'm saying is I get it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I get it. But it is,
You were the one who started saying it must be so intoxicating.
that's what I'm saying. It must
That's
be.
what he gets.
Yeah.
At least I just said I would like do some shit, but not like that kind of shit. Like more entertaining shit.
What would you do after you went fishing for your TikTok stars and Jello and like that was done? Like,
Well, the whole thing was before all that happened, I would have them get a bunch of like sponsors and all that money would go to charity.
Oh yeah. Playing both
So it'd be
sides.
fine.
I see.
Yeah, it'd be
Like,
fun.
oh, I might have killed a few TikTok stars, but look at all this money for charity. Works out. They'd have
Yeah,
to
but I
do it
mean,
in a Italian
whoever
accent. Be like,
wins,
hey,
yeah,
attack
bada
the
bing, bada
TikTok
boom.
stars. Oh,
Giuseppe, Luigi, I know. Anyway,
or Mario. Oh,
no, but the
hey.
thing is, whoever wins, it goes to their charity, and my charity would be the best because it would go to all the dogs.
I mean, you can
and I would
rationalize your
win.
sixth sense of joy any way you want. I'm saying,
I'm
yeah.
talking about TikTok people, and I'd
Are
go
they even
like to the
people,
low end
though?
one. I
Are they
don't
even
even know
people?
because I've never actually met someone who does TikTok, so I kind of think they're not real.
They're probably the lizard people that are doing this type of shit.
Exactly, which is why I should fucking fill a diamond mine with Jello after I'm a billionaire and have them all jump in and they can keep whatever they can grab
I mean, I'm not saying I'm against your idea.
in their hands as they stop breathing.
You're just taking a less sexual approach to torture than these lizard people, which is fine.
No, I'm not torturing anyone. They're trying to get what they want, and if they die doing it, fucking YOLO. That's TikTok, right?
Yeah. You only YOLO once, right?
Exactly. You only dive at a jello-filled diamond mine once. And it would be their choice. I'm not kidnapping them. I just fucking post like, I have my first $20 billion. I'm filling a giant diamond mine with Jello, and I've freed all the slaves. Any TikTok stars who want diamonds, come over here and dive in. See,
Now we're
I'm
talking blood diamonds. Okay.
I am so much more fun than Salo.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm on board. I'm not saying I'm not on board.
I'm not
Courtney.
gonna videotape it. I'm just gonna
Well,
send
yeah.
out a fucking letter to TikTok or whatever. Can you send a letter to TikTok? I don't even know. I don't understand TikTok, so I don't know. The videos just pop up sometimes on other
don't know, but
formats. They have
It's
TikTok
addictive,
in the corner.
apparently. Like my
Well,
nieces will not get off.
then
it.
I'm-
Like, the fuck
Well,
is
then
your
I'm
problem?
not. Yeah, then I'm not going there. I have enough of those problems.
But so Charlie.
So after I watched the movie, that I had to watch like cartoons for about 2 hours to even get my brain to settle down to be able to go to sleep. And then I had real fucked up dreams that night. Like I woke up in tears. It wasn't about the movie, but the most depressing shit I've ever dreamed happened. And I woke up thinking, oh, everything, the world's ended. Everyone I know is dead. And like, it was bad. It was real bad. And it kept happening for several days. So I had to keep pushing this movie to the back of my mind. And here we are 2 weeks later. I had to do a refresher course to remember what exactly happened, how the movie ended.
Oh, it's happening behind me right now.
I see it
Okay,
now.
I see that shit.
Now. Yeah.
Mhm.
That part was fine. The ending of the movie is fine. It's just that middle part. Yeah, it's
Mine is the sexual Stockholm syndrome stuff, like the conditioning that got to me, I guess. But again, like I saw it as a teenager, I thought it was fucked up. And then I was like, I'll revisit because like he wants to do the movie. And I even texted them afterwards being like, that was vanilla as shit, like no big deal. Because everything now is so graphic, which is fun. But then 2 days after I watched it, I fucking was so depressed. I went to work and was like, everyone was fucking pissing me off. I couldn't even talk to them. I went home, like drank my face off. My husband wanted to go out to dinner and I'm like, life is meaningless. Like totally had this like weird episode. I didn't say that, but I was just like, I don't want to go to dinner.
You're like the lizard
He's
people
like-
are having sex with children.
Oh, no. And he's like, well, we didn't pull anything for dinner. There's nothing to make here. Like we should eat. And I'm like, just go eat. I'll be here. I'm fine. I want to
You're
be
like, the
alone
children are
anyway.
eating shit. Don't
Yeah.
you get it? And he's like,
No,
what the
like
fuck
not
are you
even.
talking about?
It was literally just the weird psychological like aspect of it. And I'm like one of those weirdos that I listen to Sword and Scale every day back and forth to work and serial killer podcasts. Like I've always been the horror serial killer. Like I've been deeply into the psychology of like why people do what they do. that stuff actually doesn't affect me that much. But man, like that movie, and the fact that the guy who plays the fucking president has that like weird lazy eye and that stupid smile the whole time.
Yeah.
And none of those four guys, do you ever hear their voice? Even when it's not dubbed, they didn't even do the Italian. Like someone else did the Italian in that movie. Like, yeah, their voices are not in that movie at all. And the people who did it, only one was an actor. The other three were like writers that just got forced to do it because for some reason the director was like, do the fucking dub. I don't know. It's weird. Which I think makes it that much more creepy because I started watching it in Italian too, and then in English and back and forth, and like whichever version was just like equally off and like icky. The movie is just icky.
The movie is totally icky.
Yeah.
Well, they had so it was banned in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a showing of it at, was it a film festival in France, maybe, where they were supposed to have these directors come and talk about it, and then they were like,
No.
Nope.
no.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, no, you're not coming here to talk about this movie. What the fuck?
I mean, like some of the best critics in the world say it's like one of the top 5 to 10 movies that everybody should see. Like it's actually insane if you look at the people who have like really said you should watch this. Which is funny. Like Ebert had, I guess, a Laserdisc. He always refused to watch it, so they sent it to him on Laserdisc. And they said, like, whatever, after he died, when they were doing his estate, it was still like in the wrapping because he was just like,
nope.
I'm sure it's great, but I'm not going to watch that.
He's like, I heard there's some shit eating in it, so I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that guy knows all about shit eating. I think it was probably something else that he didn't want to see. Maybe he didn't want to be incriminated. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it was like too close to home.
Yeah, he was like, I've seen all this stuff before. I've lived this. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah. But so like, but this is also a good example of like how broad horror can be. Because I mean, there have been movies since I've been with the cast that we've been like, is this really horror? And to me, horror is anything that horrifies you in a way. So what's horror to one person isn't horror to another person. There's been movies that my friends have been terrified of that I've thought were like lifetime dramas. But I'm like, I don't even know how you could think that. But, this is definitely an art house flick, which I'm always kind of iffy on in a lot of ways, like Antichrist and all the Lars von Trier shit. But this is like old school art as fuck when they could still have teenagers naked on screen, implied sex that some of those scenes I still think may have been sex, no matter what anyone says. Yeah, no matter what anyone says, there's at least like the one where the kid is having sex with the maid or the help.
Yep.
Like of all the scenes, that one seems like definite sex, but maybe not. But yeah, this goes back to me to like kind of the beginning of the subculture, like really crazy art house films where they were like, let's see what we can get away with. And it doesn't surprise me that this is as controversial as it is. It doesn't surprise me that this got banned. Some of the things that have gotten banned since surprised me a lot more. And as much as I want to tell people to watch this movie at the same time, it's like, I mean, especially people in society now, like, I don't know if they could handle it. I can handle a lot of stuff.
There's no way in this current world that this would fly. Like after I watched it, I immediately started looking up, is this like banned in the US? I was like, there's no way. Like, should I have this? Like,
I
don't want
a list.
and I don't want somebody that use as my media server to stumble upon it some night, like, oh, it's movie night with the kids. Let's see what this is. And like,
Yeah.
it was
It's fun for the whole family.
I should move it to my cartoons folder and just see what happens.
Just let it ride, man. You'll be taking down the establishment. That's what Pasolini would want.
Yeah. Well, and so that's so funny too. So the original shit eating scene, Pasolini said it was intended to be a metaphor for consumer capitalism and the rise of the junk food culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the 70s, that was starting to happen. And I guess it was like, yeah, eat a pile of this old dude's shit. And it's like capitalism and junk food, which, you know my feelings about capitalism.
Hell yeah.
And I love all the like limited edition flavors of junk food. Although I don't eat junk food, once there's a limited edition, I will go on my hands and knees and eat that shit off the ground. You give me like a pumpkin spice Oreo cookie, done.
Hey, I'm into it.
I'm just kidding. I like pumpkin spice, but when they fucking came out with like the s'mores Oreos, damn, that was some thinking.
I love s'mores. Period.
I do too. Actually, it's one of my favorite things.
When
I used to get my allowance. No, so in California when I was in junior high, I would get my allowance and I would walk to Rayleigh's and I would get the like bag of mini chocolate bars of Hershey's with all the different flavors, a bag of big marshmallows, a bag of graham crackers, bring them back home and then share them with my little brothers and we would s'mores once a week.
I still do that. I'll buy
because I was a
Hershey's.
giver with my allowance.
I would have hoarded that shit. I'll get a fix every once in a while. I'll be like, all right, I'll just go buy a package of fucking Hershey bars, marshmallows, and graham. I'll sit there at the stove,
Orange slices
with a orange slices. Just like, oh, this shit tastes delicious. I'll eat like 6, 7 fucking s'mores. Like I'm a fucking glutton for it.
And
like,
then he takes a fucking half-gallon of orange juice and guzzles it and smashes a jar of orange marmalade in his fist and just smashes it into his face afterwards.
I love it all.
Followed by fudge.
Dude, I will eat the fuck out of those oranges though. They're so good. So good.
They're so bad. Okay, well now I know who to send all the ones people gift me.
Oh fuck, please.
Oh,
I'll eat
no problem. No problem. I throw those in the fucking trash. I literally crush them in my hands and throw them in the trash and then spit on the trash. Like, who would give this to me? The Italian spit.
I know what Courtney's getting.
It's the double.
I'm gonna send you another care package.
Yeah.
No, don't you fucking do it. I will send you like a dead cat if you do that. I will send you a half dead cat. So when it arrives to you, you'll open the fucking package here at Moaning and then die in front of you. Don't send me orange chocolate. Don't you do it.
I would never.
You don't know my limits. Because I don't have any.
She's a no limit soldier.
Don't press them. I'm kidding. I would never, ever send anyone a half dead or dead cat. Unless it was their dead cat and it was like remains they needed. Then I would
or your
send it.
TikTok
Or like
star.
stuffed dead cat.
And Oobzilla is fucking rich.
Jello Diamond Mine. That's the name of my next album. Jello Diamond Mine.
You should that should be the name of your hip hop
I can't
album.
use the name.
Jello
I
Diamond
can't use the
Mine.
name. But then it would be jelly, like green jello. Had to turn into green jelly.
Yeah.
Be jelly Diamond Mine.
The Jello.
Although maybe if I said Bill Cosby tried to rape me, I could use the jello name.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Be like, look, I won't go public if you just let me use this fucking name.
I'll just pretend like I'm Janice Dickinson's like daughter or whatever. Like I was inside her when he raped her, and I'm traumatized. So I need to name my band Jello Diamond Mine.
I like it.
Okay, so right now, if you hear people like making jokes like this that are saying don't watch this movie, that should give you an indication if you can handle this movie. I've tried to be as offensive as possible tonight, And I'm saying, don't watch this movie. So if you
should
watch
this
it,
movie. Watch it.
you can't sue me, but you can sue E. He's telling you to watch this movie.
I'm telling you.
Charlie said he woke
on
up
it.
crying. You can't sue Charlie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think people
That's
should
all
watch
I'm
it.
saying. Oh my God. I mean, yeah. Should people really watch it? I don't know. Did I watch it? Yes, twice in my life. Am I going to watch it again? No, other than the clips they're playing behind me right now. And every time I see a clip, oh, it's off. Thank God.
Yeah, I saw it finish.
See, that's my reaction. Looking back behind me, like, oh, good, it's done. And I actually read, the book, but see, Marquis de Sade was so snarky and like intending to be disgusting and had a quick, a wit in his writing that it wasn't as bad. Like I read it before I ever saw it, and reading it, I mean, it was gross, but not like this made it seem like something that could happen. Which is why it's an art house film. Which is why it's an art house film. And E picked an art house film.
I do think that's why it's so fucked up, is that this shit does actually happen.
Oh, 100%.
Of course.
And I just felt awful the whole time I'm watching. It's just like bits of my soul, what's left of it, were just slowly leaving me. Just like, yeah.
We'll go to Disney soon, and we'll put that soul right back into you, Charlie.
There we go.
You don't need a soul cleansing. Yeah, dude, I think Pasolini just hated a lot of shit, because it's funny when people are always like, oh, consumerism, blah blah blah, and then they make these fucking movies to dish out to the to the populace, and it's like, well, you're contributing to consumerism, but
he had 4 different endings to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only one. But the thing is, maybe if he had still been alive and been able to do the circuit and explain his shit, like, fine, but he wasn't able to. And even then, I don't know if it would have made it better. But this is like quintessential. Marquis de Sade was as fucked as fuck can get. Okay? So then this artistic director is like, oh, I'm going to take this, like, thing and make it beautiful, and my take on consumerism and fascism and this and that, and it's gonna be beautiful. Like I told you, he was even quoted as saying, this movie is for everyone, anyone can watch it and see my vision. That is the most egotistical bullshit ever, so I'm kind of glad he got killed.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah,
because if this was the first part of the second trilogy, and I've seen the first trilogy, and the first trilogy is actually kind of fun. It's like a lot of gay banging and just like he takes on classic stories like Arabian Nights, Canterbury Tales, over the top sexual, but whatever. You could tell he was repressed, but they're fun. This is not fun. And whatever he would have done with part 2 and 3 of this one, holy shit. Like, what the fuck would he have? Well, I don't even know. Like, Mein Kampf would be part 2. Like,
yeah, right.
Shit, right.
Well, and then somehow, like, bring in banging to that.
By this point, he just fucking hated everything. He was he's like, ugh, fuck everything. So he was like, I'm going to make this movie.
No, that's beautiful, man.
Which is awesome. But yeah.
No, the fact that people like funded this and he was able to, like, I give that guy props.
He was.
And honestly, if someone was willing to pay me to do something like that, I don't know. Maybe I would too.
I mean, like I said, they all look like they were having a good time, and even Eve's talking about in the extended scenes or documentary he was talking about earlier. He's not actually talking about the movie, saying they all think they're having a good time. They are not. Although there are
please,
some
if you
scenes,
missed that part, come back.
There are some scenes where you see them like laughing, like trying to hold in their laughs because they're like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Stockholm syndrome too.
Or it could be that. Or they could just be fucking Italian and they're, you know how Italians are.
Affocato dice. Affoculo.
Like, oh, hey.
Marinara. Ravioli.
Hey, cheese sticks. What are you talking about? Hey. I don't know. Whatever.
Swims with the fishes. Yeah, we know.
Hey, cement shoes. Forget
Mhm.
about it.
Oh my God. If the people I work with listen to this, they're gonna be like, if my boss listens to this, Mr. 100% Brooklyn Italian, he's going to be like, what the fuck, Courtney? Although he made fun of me today about how I'd say insurance.
What's weird about that?
Insurance?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be insurance.
Oh.
Or insurance.
No, he's like, hey, insurance. Oh,
Insurance.
hey.
Insurance.
You're supposed to
Yeah.
have a hey at the end of it, or talk with your hands real
Yeah.
loudly. Ah!
No, half the shit I say is like, what is that? Like, I keep saying it. He doesn't understand. Like when I say boots, he doesn't know what that means.
What, you said boots.
Right? See? So I'm not speaking another language. Thank you. Because I had 3 fucking Northeasterners today not understand what I said when I said boots.
Sounds like boots to me.
How the fuck do they say it?
I don't know. They didn't say it back. They were just like, the things you wear on your feet, on your back, are things you pay. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
What?
Boots.
Things you pay?
I didn't inquire because I tend to ignore them when they make fun of the way I speak and just
Were they-
keep typing on my computer.
Were these
Tell
Canadians?
them to fuck off. No. Born and raised Brooklynites.
I don't even
Trust me. We have fucking fights every day. I've learned how to talk with my hands more. I've gotten some of the inflection. I picked up some of it. But apparently I sound like a fucking hillbilly all the time because they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And every single person here is like, you have a crazy Southern accent. And I'm like, I don't think so. I grew up in the Bay Area and I kind of sound like the people who live there. I have a couple things that sound Southern from where I was born, but I don't have a Southern accent. If you mean south of upstate New York, then yes, but not.
Next time I
Southern.
come up, I'll have to get good and drunk and go be around them for a little bit and let the Texas come out.
Oh no, after they hear me talking to like my mama or my mom, because I'll get off the phone and like have a little bit more of a dialect, then they're like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, that's a real, or I'll put them on speakerphone and be like, that is a Southern accent. Mine is not. Southerners don't say dude and rad as much as I do, but yeah, I know I've got a bastard fucking accent, but this isn't what the podcast is about. So how many fucking candy corns are we gonna give this pilot?
You're gonna have to get some sort of recording because I want to know how they say boots. Maybe you're not putting enough oots in it. Maybe you got to be like, hey, boots.
No. It's like a lot. It's like a lot less. It's like boots.
Huh.
It's like a quick like fuck you kind of like boots. But because I say boots, they don't get it.
I think next time you should put your hands like this and be like, hey, I just bought new boots. You know what I'm saying? And hey.
No, that was not your best Italian right there.
Well, I'm just trying to do the Brooklyn accent. You got the boots. Those are nice boots.
That's a little Pesci Jersey right there.
Well, I mean,
now that I live here, no, I'm not trying to talk shit, but now that I live here, I'm like starting to hone in on it. I'm getting it. I'm understanding what they're saying. Like I used to always do the Marissa Tomei impression of my cousin Vinny about the deer getting the fucking head blown off and all that. Like now I'm starting to really see the different dialects, just like in California and everywhere else, in Pennsylvania, the different dialects around New York, New Jersey, Long Island.
I mean,
Strong Island.
Yeah.
It's all different.
I mean,
all different. Then you go to Connecticut and it's like, fuck this. And then Massachusetts. I mean, I need to move to Massachusetts. I feel like those are my people.
Witches?
I mean, yeah, and working class. But yeah, witches too.
You can move to Worcester. Hey, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Ooh, Worcester. Those guys. That's fucking rough. I didn't say I wanted to move there.
I got family in Worcester. Worcester.
But yeah, it's weird because here there's like, it's a very small area with lots of accents. and they all just talk shit, and it's funny. But then they gang up on me because I'm the odd man out that's a bastard of all of everything, and
They're
I
like,
don't really
hey,
care.
Oubliette, hey, talk,
And
hey,
I,
say
yeah.
some of your weird words, huh? Hey, oh.
Well, and I do. I make up words. I make up slang. I always have. So
You
they can
should.
go fuck themselves. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I don't eat fucking chocolate and oranges together, so I don't care.
Like Pasolini, he gave no fucks. Or
I don't
maybe he
give
gave
a
lot of
fuck.
fucks. Did a lot of fucks.
I kept my clothes on when I was 13. I don't care.
It's because you
I
didn't know
fuck
enough
any
Italians,
kids.
apparently.
Yeah. After I was an adult, I did fuck children. I like burn their tits off or,
That's
cut their
probably good.
dicks. So I'm good.
That's probably good.
Scalp them,
I'm-
scalping people. You probably scalped a
Yeah.
few people.
There were definitely a lot of dicks in this movie too.
Oh, there were.
Real and fake. Both real and fake, but definitely a lot of dicks.
I've never scalped anyone. I have one time.
There it
One time.
is.
I
There it is.
I threatened to scalp somebody.
I think
I don't know
we
why.
talked
I
about
don't
that.
know why I had a straight razor in my hand either.
We talked about that.
Austin and cocaine. I don't know. Whatever.
Shit gets wild. Shit
Long
gets
time.
wild.
That was like 20 years ago, man.
There is one quote.
I'm fucking middle aged.
There's one quote Pasolini was saying. I think it was him in the documentary, or they just attributed it to him. But it was, I've always
Probably.
complained that nature gave me the desire to violate it, but never the means to do so.
Ugh. Ugh. That is a fucking pedophile if I've ever heard one.
100%.
Oh my god, that guy fucked those kids. That's why he got murdered.
He got murdered.
This wasn't random.
Yeah, there was definitely, dude, everyone was out. I think he got murdered because they were like, we can't let this shit get out because then they're gonna be hip to what we're doing.
What's funny is the kid who ran over him. Did you hear about all that? Years
Mhm.
later, he recanted and said it was 3 other guys that like made him do that or some shit, but he couldn't say who they were because he would get killed
Yeah, because of the fucking mafia.
while he was in prison.
Yeah.
No, it was the lizard people, man.
Yeah, but the mafia is the fucking muscle for the lizard people. Come on, Courtney. It's a whole thing.
Then you start talking about the fucking unions, and god damn it, they're like the salamander people.
Fucking goddamn
I
lizard
kid.
people. So okay, all right.
I love lizard people.
Well, yes, we all like the lizard people. Yes.
Yes,
They're
we have.
great.
I mean, yes,
Yes.
lizard people
Make the world
are
better.
very big on education. They help fund the schools, and we like education, and we like
We love being
social-
told what to do and think. That's our number one thing.
no, we love that everybody, is equal and deserves an equal chance, and like we need to help everybody get there. And if people who are like not maybe making as much as other people disappear, it's not the lizard people.
Not at all.
It's not the lizard people. It's the
No.
Republicans,
The lizard.
because they make them disappear, because Republicans don't like poor people. It's not the lizard people eating them. And it's not the libertarians either. Just so you guys know.
Yes. So with that being
But-
said, all right. Now is the time where we give these. So Dom didn't watch it, neither did Shotzi, so I can't even comment on their.
I don't think either of them should.
I think Dom should watch. Dom and Valerie, they should watch it together on like movie night.
I mean,
No gross.
he has
No.
my DVD. I hope.
No.
Anyway. He might have been like,
No. Why would you say a couple should watch together?
no.
It's bonding, a bonding moment.
Yeah, they
You
can
get
throw
through
up
that movie,
together.
get through anything together.
This is true.
Stop, guys. And Shotzi shouldn't watch it either. She'll start blowing matches.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Look, we took one for everybody.
one
We
for the
watched
team.
it.
Nobody should watch it.
No, really, don't watch it, guys.
It's like having PTSD just talking about it. Like,
Although today, when I was telling my boss that I felt so bad that Charlie had to watch it and that we were doing the podcast about it tonight, my boss, who is a very sensitive
Italian.
person who won't admit to it, said, "What the fuck? Is Charlie so sensitive? It's just a fucking movie." And then I started telling him the synopsis, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch it." And I'm like, "No, fuck you. It's just a fucking movie. Go ahead." And I was like, "Never mind, because your wife will never let me hear the end of it, because his wife, is the boss." And I did not want to end up on her bad side, which I would have, because he would be in fetal position probably for the next 3 weeks. And probably lock his daughters in a fucking cell somewhere. Probably because they are wealthy enough. They probably know people like that. They would have way too close to home.
Bingo. I will say
I won't say they know lizard people, but I'll say that they.
Hey, I know a guy who knows a guy.
They know lizard people. they might know a guy. Yeah.
I know a guy who knows a lizard. You know, hey, there was some good gore at the end, though. For 1975 in Italy.
oh, the end was great. I enjoyed the end.
Yeah, the end reminded me of like Riccio,
Yeah.
if you've seen that. But like it was silly, but which actually kind of, I don't know if it helps or it makes it worse.
The glee.
Well, just how it
After you
ends.
watch it all.
But then it just how it ends with those two like guard guys like dancing together, talking about their girlfriends, and then it's just
Okay, so what's funny is
that's it. Like,
so those two guards. Do you remember the scene where they're at the dinner table and there's like the kind of double rape thing going on? They start singing that song.
Mm-hmm.
So the two guys that are doing that shit during that song are the only two who survive. And that song is a song that got popular in World War II that was written about World War One, about like the most disgusting soldiers living.
interesting.
Yeah.
Art house film.
What was
Art
the song?
house
What was
film.
it? Was it I'm in the mood for love? It was no, that wasn't it. Was it?
I'm in the mood for no. The song in the movie?
Yeah, it kept playing through the whole movie. Oh fuck. It's an old standard that they used in it. I think it might be. Anyway, I thought that was a good little, because it was a very lighthearted, like, we're dignitaries and we're fucking, the elite. And there's this.
I think it was just like a little C major twill that is recognizable.
Yeah, but
or something. Yeah,
was
whatever.
A good contrast, just to show how fucked up they were about the whole thing. They're like, really?
Well, that whole singing scene is like one of the ones where you're just like, great. I'm so glad I'm watching this.
Poor Charlie.
No, he woke up in tears.
Yeah, it was fucked. I'll never watch it again.
He literally broke up with his 14-year-old girlfriend the next day.
Fuck off.
We've all been there, Charlie. We've all.
And he called his dictator father, who had sold off his sister to another dictator, and was like, "Look, I just can't
do
this anymore."
Like, listen, Dad, I don't want your life, okay?
And then he reached out to all these bands on a Blink-182 comp and said he would record them for free to make up for it. True story. I saw that email today, and that's so nice of you.
Yeah, do what I can.
Well, you have to after you watch this movie. You gotta.
Yeah, you gotta make amends.
All right. So what are we giving this movie? What how many naked
Disgusting, filthy, shitty,
shit
many,
eating
fucking
candy
like
corns?
How many chocolate oranges?
PTSD.
How
No,
many
we do.
chocolate candy corns are we giving?
So,
this
Charlie, the rating system, I'm assuming you've probably never listened to the podcast, even though you say you're my friend. I'm sure you haven't. And your Dom's friend too, but yeah, you've never listened to it. He's shaking his head no. Just let although he drives all the time, you'd think he would listen to it because it's actually pretty funny, but we'll talk about that later in private with him. So, and he didn't even do research before being on the show, which makes it like a double stake to my heart. So
he's a complete virgin. That's what we want.
I'll probably cry afterwards. But anyways, so the rating system goes, there's 5 candy corns. And you can actually do like shitbag stuff like we do, like 2.1, 2.25, or like E likes to do. So, who do we want to start with?
How about Charlie? We'll go
Wait,
Charlie.
so it's like zero is just bad, or like what
Yeah.
are you rating?
There is no, you can't do 0.
Well,
I mean, you
You can-
can. You can do
No.
a 0. You can
like
do
in
Really?
the, like in the grand scheme of
I
things,
feel like it has to be like 0.25.
for
No,
how
we've.
fucking,
I'm
for
pretty
how
sure
fuck-
we've given.
for how fucked up it is, I'd give it like a 4.5. Like it's
No, it's not how fucked up it is.
okay. So
Just
overall,
what you
This
thought.
is like
a half,
a-
like a half, like
Yeah.
That's because the end was okay. So I'll give it a little bit for the end. But
Okay.
overall, it'll scar you. So don't watch it. Have a candy corn or one whole chocolate orange. They're about
Half
the
a
same.
candy corn or one whole chocolate orange because they're that bad. Because it's that bad.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Oubliette.
I am starting a whole new rating system for this movie, and I am giving it 5 chocolate oranges, which is equal to -5 beautiful little cute tiny sugar fairy candy corns.
Okay.
And as much as I appreciate this movie happened, I guess. Actually, I don't. I enjoyed reading 120 Days of Sodom. I've enjoyed reading Marquis de Sade. The fact that they brought in the fascist thing in World War II, it just like to me is this art house ploy to make it super shocking and ridiculous and show you how bad people can be, and that's great. And I know how bad they can be, and although nothing in the movie surprised me at all, and I thoroughly believe all the things probably in this movie have happened, I don't know. I don't know that I wanted to see it. Now, if it was actually like footage of that shit being done and someone like getting arrested at the end, cool. I could have watched that and like felt, or even a bunch of people dying and nothing happened, or a fugitive, like if it was real footage, I felt like it would have been better. But like I fucking hate that art house shit where they're like, I'm gonna take this fucking story. Like Marquis de Sade was a piece of shit. He knew he was a piece of shit. He fucking loved it. His whole thing was like weird STDs and infecting people with it, and literally sewing up their vaginas after he infected them with shit. Like,
Fucking guy knew how to party.
no, and I mean, sadism. That's where it comes from. And like, as much as this, I don't know. I guess I'm torn. I guess it has a place. Some people will see it. Maybe it will make them not be dickbags. But I also feel like this is the kind of movie that some people may see,
Give some idea.
and it may trigger something. And I don't like that part of it. And this is coming from someone who literally will watch the most fucked up of the fuck. Like if somebody handed me a snuff film, I would totally probably watch it.
I mean, this is basically a snuff film.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And But like I know me, and I'm very into psychology of why people do things. Like I like studying this kind of thing, but I think that in the wrong hands, that this, and I hate to sound like Tipper Gore, like saying don't listen to some, don't watch this movie, but this is one movie I think that luckily it's not very easy to get, but I could see like a young impressionable person or even an older person watching this and being like, fuck yeah. And because it's too realistic. Just like Hounds of Baskerville, like Sherlock Holmes. People watch it now and are like, oh, what the fuck? It's not scary. To me, it was scary because it seemed so real. Like
Right.
this movie has that feel to it, just like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it's very realistic. So I don't know. Like if I thought it would be locked in a vault and no one would ever see it again, I might give it 3 out of 5. But because I know that people can find it, I don't want to. I don't want to do that because
You don't want to contribute to the its popularity.
No, because
right.
people are fucking dead, like crazy, gross,
They are.
disgusting people. And I know
Lizard
as being
people.
someone
I mean,
who
not
was,
lizard people. Lizard people are nice people. We like the lizard people.
yeah. Uh,
So that is an interesting score.
yeah. What are you gonna do? E?
You know, I think people should watch it. I mean, and if you're actually real sensitive about shit and are triggered easily, then don't. Because, or I mean, I don't know.
No, I feel like those people should maybe, but the people who aren't triggered by it shouldn't.
It's
Yeah, if you can easily get through it with no moral dilemmas, you've got problems and maybe should
Streaming looks around suspiciously.
No, I think that even you probably had a moment where you're like, this is fucked.
No, I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, this is literally the shit that they do. And I was like,
have
oh,
you seen
Well,
it
of
before?
course, but did you watch it and be like, this is the shit I want to do?
no, but I did, as I stated earlier, I'm like, God, if this is the shit that's really going on, which I think it is,
Mm-hmm.
once you get to a certain level of power, it doesn't even have to be money, just fucking power. You just get fucked. You're fucked. You get so consumed with all kinds of shit, and you're probably around some really even more fucked people than you are. So it's a game over at that point, and you're just a fucking
Well, of course, people,
weirdo.
no matter what anyone says, whoever you surround yourself with
Yeah.
imprints on you and you change, even though you say you don't. But I
I
mean,
mean-
that level, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's campy and it's goofy. So some people might be like, oh, this is fucking if you go into it just as like, oh, this is fucked up and it's a goofy movie, then people, it'll be fine. You won't think too much about it. But if you're like, oh, if you think like we do, and we're like, oh yeah, that shit actually happens.
For real happens, yeah.
Yeah, then it might really fuck with you. But I still think people should watch it. I think now owning it, probably not everyone should own this. I'm glad I do.
Not something you want somebody to just stumble across and throw on.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this looks like a good movie, and they're like, what? Now they're eating shit. What the fuck? They're burning nipples. What the fuck is going on? You told me to watch this movie, you son of
I don't think anyone would look and read the synopsis and be like, this looks like a good movie.
Yeah, probably not. But my score, I'm gonna say a solid 3.
Hmm.
A solid 3 because I think it's more of a fucking documentary.
It's so artsy and fartsy.
It is, and I loathe foreign films for the most part, but I do like fucked up shit. So I'm like, and
Yeah,
I
you
hate
like
the
Elvis
establishment
and
too. So I'm
Judy
like,
Allen
yeah, fuck these lizard people,
and the
fucking
Ramones.
weirdos. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I just like it because it's a spectacle of a movie, and I'm like, wow, it's really fucked up. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with a solid 3 shit covered candy corn.
There's a lot of shit.
Well,
There's a lot.
those are the November candy corn, the Thanksgiving ones. They're like the
Yeah.
brown,
Brown ones.
yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, brown. So yeah, so we got a 3, a half, and a
A negative.
negative.
Well,
but
a -5, but I said if no one who would do any of those things would ever be able to see it, I would give it a 3. Or yeah, if they couldn't see it,
yeah,
it would be a 3.
I
I
mean,
just feel guilty about even doing a podcast about it and like turning someone on to it because I feel like this podcast is literally going to make someone like rape somebody. But whatever.
not the movie. This podcast alone. They'd be
Wait.
like, ah!
Well, no, because this podcast will turn them on to the movie, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, that chick I pass the playground every day. I'm gonna kidnap her and put her in my basement and make her eat my shit and fuck her eye socket." And then,
I mean, or they could find it.
That'd be
Or
great.
they could be like John Wayne Gacy and find some young strapping teenage boy. Every thing is, everyone was getting a little turn in this movie, man.
I would still feel bad about that too.
Well, I'm saying,
I don't actually hate men.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's a little hating for everyone in this movie.
Right. I just feel like certain people probably shouldn't. be
Yeah,
able to
I
see
mean,
this movie.
that's probably accurate.
Well, because the end scene is so like only because like there's some movies like I Spit on Your Grave. I think kids should see so they don't ever rape women because they probably see that and it'd be like no because the tone of that movie. This one, the end is like this like like grandiose orchestral like they all love us, but we're killing them all in really fucked up ways. And we're looking at our little glasses out a window, and it's great. We have so much power. This is awesome. So, in the wrong hands and the wrong people seeing it, they're going to be like, fuck yeah. I want to be the fucking cross eyed president with the weird smirk who's super creepy. It's
funny thing you should say that, how the people are acting, because that's another thing that fucking Pasolini was going for is like how people.
I am so glad he's dead, by the way.
No,
but go on.
He was out in the lizard people and they got mad, but he was saying that by nature people will conform to whatever power they think is socially suitable for them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So they're like,
I think the last few years in politics are a great example of people conforming and being hysterical about things that years before they didn't even fucking care about.
Yeah, people are fucking stupid. That's why they're like, oh, I haven't paid attention for anything, but now I need to pick this fucking team. And
yeah,
my
I'll
team's
fucking
gonna be
die
right
for this
no matter
person.
what.
That's great. Yeah.
But it's exactly what he was saying. It's like people will be fucking all in, gung ho about, yeah, my fucking team, this is fucking great, until that shit turns on them, and then they're like, no, this is still great, as they're getting their fucking nipples burned off and made to eat shit. They're like, no, this is awesome. Like,
and they have been eating shit and still saying it's awesome lately.
Right? You know what I mean? So
all right, I'll give it a 3.
See, there you go. I think it's an important movie to watch because it sheds a light on. Yeah, it sheds a light on how awful people can be, especially when you get too powerful. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter what team you're playing on.
With money,
yeah, I mean,
because you can be cool and have a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But if you're like crazy powerful, then yeah, you're bad.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. Power and money together. You could be rich and be fine, but once you start getting a lot of power with that money and the ability to do whatever you want, and I love rich people. Fucking be as rich as you want. I don't give a fuck. but the power is the fucking is the icing, man. The
But what if you were
the shit
super
icing.
rich and you just adopted every puppy in the United States,
That's awesome.
and that was your power?
Fuck yeah.
That was your power play. Like, I'm just gonna get every fucking puppy, and there's gonna be shit all over my yard and my house. But like, that's what I can do, and I won't make underage girls eat it, or underage boys, for that matter.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they were not discriminating on who was eating shit. That's for sure.
Because I'm just saying that's my goal. Like, I want to be like super powerful and rich, but I just want to like adopt every abandoned animal.
yeah. I mean that's fine.
I mean, they can
mostly
eat teenagers or whatever. I
It's
don't care
mostly the
about that.
politics. It's
Oh, I
mostly the
could-
power.
I could feed
Yeah,
underage
politics.
kids to the dogs I adopt, and that could be my thing.
See, you know,
Because
There's a
I have
doorway.
to find. Well, that's what I mean. I have to find a thing, right? I
Yeah.
can't just be like super rich and powerful and not have a thing that's
Uh-uh.
bad. So like, it'll be like I adopt all the puppies, but I feed them virgins from Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Might help.
Okay.
help the
Like
board
like
part.
I said, you get there's that point where you're like, oh, you get on this other level of fucking just insanity. You level up in the simulation, and it's like, oh, in this
No,
level,
I could-
we're all
yeah.
fucked up. And you're like, oh, I guess I better get fucked up then. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, if I do that, I'll at least make it super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go big or go home,
Oh, I'm gonna go all the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I go,
yeah. No,
if I get to that point, it's gonna be great.
see, you know, we started off with this podcast, me saying, I mean, I get it. Hey, you know, it's got to be intoxicating, and now Courtney's like, you know, if I ever get to that point, I'm just fucking going balls to the wall. Fuck.
Oh
that.
no, I mean, Charlie and I have already had these conversations about money and success and what could be done, but it's not at all like this movie.
No, not
We promise it's not.
until it
There's like
is.
lots of good food and puppies, and yeah, like shitty dirt bags. Stuff, bad stuff happens to them, but like, who cares about shitty dirt bags? Nobody, other than their girlfriends who they beat the shit out of every day, and their kids who are like, "My daddy's awesome," but he's not. Or my mommy's awesome, but she's not. It's not a sexist thing. Girls can be dirtbags too.
Hear
Anyway,
that, kids? Your parents suck. Oubliette says so.
yes. But,
Your parents
but-
that you think are
but
fucking
none of-
mad.
but
Oobzilla's
none of-
like,
yeah.
fuck them.
but
they're
none of us
shitbags.
want to. None of us want to adopt you. But if you want to volunteer at the SPCA and help out feeding abandoned dogs, that'd be awesome.
It's all about the puppies.
It is.
It's all about the puppies.
It is.
All right. And on that note, I'm Screaming E. We got Oobzilla. We have our guest host, Charlie.
Charlie, you need to get closer to the mic and you need to say goodbye and thank you for us having you
Thanks
here.
for having me.
And then we're going to put you back in your cage.
Get back in there. Here's your
Hello,
poop.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
It's fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Charlie. We killed him.
We traumatized Charlie.
A little bit.
Well, this,
Don't watch this movie.
Yeah, guys really don't. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. If you're in school for an art degree or think you're super interesting and have some awesome ideas, you should definitely watch this movie because it would inspire you. And it's super cute. Thanks, guys.
Date night movie.
All right, motherfuckers. Peace.
Burton just looks that big old Storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Want some candy?